where do I even begin? This is the 4th year in review video that I have ever made on this channel. We talked about life, we've talked about what's going on in college, we talked about like this channel, and I really like this format of just like sitting down and looking at the history of the channel, looking at like the future, looking at what I did for the year, because it really helps me be grateful with what I've done in that year. This year has probably been one of the most difficult years in my life that has occurred. Saying something is difficult is tough because it 100% was, but because of it being difficult, there was a lot that was needed to be learned and a lot of growing up that needed to happen, and it definitely has happened. We started back up this year, back at the top of college. We started doing 18 credit hours, which is, I can't believe that I ever did that in the first place. But we took one of the best classes that I think I've taken in like, I don't want to say the entirety that I was at college, but for the majority of when I was at college, this class was amazing. It was documentary and journalism. So my school year started off with some of the busiest things. So in January, we continued my position as head of programming in student media, which was really fun, getting to learn about a bunch of stuff that I've never learned before, is getting to see a bunch of stuff that I didn't see. So getting to grow on that. And then also in my documentary class, we got to make a documentary in this class, which this documentary, I am so grateful for James and Savannah who worked on this with me. They are so good at what they do, and they are so smart with what they do, that they were like the idea people to this entire documentary. I was just there with the camera. They're the ones that put it together and made it look good. I just kind of followed their instructions and followed their guidance with like the editing and the cinematography. We actually ended up getting that documentary picked up by a local PBS station to have them broadcast it. I still say it out loud, and I'm still like am in shock of being like, that's something that I did. That's so cool. Like I can't believe that, you know. In March, I started an internship with the Akron Rubber Ducks, which was my first broadcast job in the real world. Basically, it was working for a minor league baseball team, getting to direct shows, getting to work on DAC with a scoreboard, getting to like further myself and be able to see myself in a job and in a career that's like that I've been working for in college is beyond cool. The experiences and the people that I got to meet, the people in the internship who goes to other schools that I got to meet and got to learn from, definitely made me better in the professional sense at like directing and at being able to like engineer stuff and be able to put stuff together and keep it together. So a lot of growth professionally at the top of this year definitely happened. This year's theme was growth. And sometimes when you have growth, there's some growing pains, and there's also times in which stuff that happens that you don't expect happens. After this semester of school, I went back to camp again. You know, I talked about it a lot in last year's year review of how much I loved being at camp, and I had the privilege to do it again, which one of my goals was to create 50 videos. We almost got there. I think our final count ended up being like 40 some. The experiences that come along with pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone is absolutely amazing. Better to make them more consistent, which I can't really say a lot that happened on this channel of making it consistent and better. We definitely did make some pretty good videos this year. Like I'm like just like on my second screen, I'm just kind of looking at like the thumbnails and the videos overall that we made like this year. We made 15 full-length videos this year, which was not even close to the goal that I had to make. One of the goals at the end of last year in our year review was to move away from Fortnite content and move more into personal content, and that definitely has come through. But I feel like there's been a lot of just being in my head and not knowing what I wanted to do, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna get judged. I don't know what to post. I'm just not gonna post anything because I don't know what I want. We've gone back and forth a lot of trying to figure out, okay, I'm gonna stream, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And I feel like because my inconsistency and my indecisiveness, I've really stunted the growth of this channel that we could have saw over the last year. I'm running out of patience and time with myself with YouTube, and I keep putting it off as a secondary thing. I keep saying that I'm going to do it. I keep saying that I'm going to be dedicated to it every single year and every single time. Promise after promise after promise. Well, there's a certain point where if you make a promise to yourself, you better treat it like it's a promise you made to another human, you know? Ever since I made that video, which was like 2 months ago, I've only released 2 more videos after that. So it's like already seeing the fact that I've been breaking that promise with myself is because I'm so worried about what I'm gonna post. I'm so worried about how it's gonna be shown on YouTube, and it's like, oh, did I stop my growth? And then going back and forth with video games. But truthfully, it does not matter. I just want to post. I love editing videos. I love creating things, and that's why I'm in the major that I'm in. I feel like what I've truly taken out of proportion and truly just haven't realized is these 43 views or these 30 views. That is a classroom. Okay, like putting stuff in perspective. So again, going back to the idea of what this year has been for me has been growth. Being able just to create, and I've got so much out of being able to make all those videos for camp because I just got to create. I got to put a camera in my hand and just go with it. Make interviews, do certain things, make certain content. Show stuff that I find interesting. One of my like lifetime long-term goals is I want to visit all 50 states by the time I'm 50, which we've got time. For my 23rd birthday, I actually did a trip with a lot of my camp friends that I made this year, some camp friends that I made last year, and we all got together. We did this long trip. It was a 6-hour drive, and we drove to Niagara Falls in New York. And just getting to see that and getting to do a boat ride in this beauty and hanging out with them while we were at camp, the hard decision and the shocking factor that came in that hit me like a bag of bricks was not being able to go back to school in the fall. This was a complete plot twist for the year and really hard for me to realize that it was happening because of financial things. It was hard for me to go back to school. And then we come back for the fall. We come back and I'm not in school. So trying to figure out what I wanted to do, trying to figure out why I, couldn't go back to school. What do I do? Do I focus on YouTube? Do I find a new job? What do I do? It was like a lot of like, what do I do? Do I try to move back? Can I move back? So it was a lot of thinking, a lot of going through and figuring out what I have to do. And that's kind of where it's like, okay, we're gonna go back to YouTube. We're gonna do some streaming a little bit more. We're gonna because we had time to be able to do these things. And then I didn't see the same traction that I was getting at the top of it. Not seeing that same traction where we were getting hundreds of views and we were getting so many watch hours, which channel's still not monetized, and that's okay. We're still working on it. We still haven't given up. It was hard to realize that when you're not consistent with something, it's not gonna all just magically overnight, oh, you have 1 million subscribers and you have people that are willing to watch you, because the work wasn't put in. So trying to put into that work, it just didn't happen. It was a lot of just loop of, what do I do? What should I post? What do I continue making gaming videos and go back to that because it was working and it was getting me hundreds of views? Or do I just continue on this new path and try to rebuild it all? Do I feel like I'm restarting? Should I restart? Nagging me of what to do. It's like all in my head being like, oh, you're doing it wrong. You should do this. You should do that. You post this thing and try it. It works really well. So, okay, we're just going to dive right back into that. And then it's circling back to Fortnite being like, oh, you should dive back into that. It's so fun. It's so good. And then realizing, as much as I love Fortnite, it's not what I want to do. I love streaming. Like, don't get me wrong. I love streaming and I'm going to continue to stream. Pinky promise. I just don't know how often it's going to be. Because there's so many different avenues in my life that I want to explore that I feel like that this was what this channel is going to be. I discovered over the last couple months that I love to cook. Honestly, within this year, again, it's growth and figuring out what I want to do. I love to cook. I have some things that I want to do with that. Like, we want to continue in school. So like I said, it was going back to saying that there was a lot of growth this year. There was a lot of having to learn how to hear the answer of no. So the last 6 months I have not been in college. I've been working, trying to save up, trying to fix up my life, because there's a certain point where you're just like, okay, you're an adult and you got to figure it out. How can you get the life that you want? There's literally a thing in my back pocket that I can be utilizing to make vlogs that I just haven't been utilizing. I have tools all around me that I've been building up over the last couple of years that I have literally trying to convince myself you are running out of excuses to not do what you want to do. There's no one in the world that is blocking me from doing what I got to do. The only person in the world who's blocking me from doing stuff is me. There's been so much good that's come out of it. Being able to go to my first WNBA game, getting to see Indianapolis, which is a city I absolutely fell in love with, and I was there for only a couple hours. It's a lot realizing that there's a lot more to life than school and doing all of the stuff, that it has to be something that's fulfilling and happy for me. And YouTube is one of those things where it's just like, I'm not giving up. I refuse to give up. I don't care if I'm getting 1 view or 30 views. If I post once a year, I ain't giving up. I'm still going to post something when I feel like I need to post it. I've had a lot of mental health struggles this year. But I also had a lot of triumphs with it. I started therapy, which has really helped with how I handle stuff and how I think of stuff. It's trying to help me prevent from those like doomsday sort of like feelings and sort of thoughts. Because I've had a lot of just like, what's the point? I give up. It's hard. I give up. It's not coming my way the exact time and the exact second I need to, so I give up. So like I said, this year has been a lot of personal growth, professional growth. So the theme of this year has been growth. Things have definitely sucked this year, but chalking it up to being like, oh, it's horrible, it's hard, I ain't gonna do nothing. That's why I'm chalking it up to growth. I've learned a lot about myself. I've grown up a lot. I've, come to understandings with stuff and how the world works. And now I get to look forward to next year. But my goal is to just continue to grow and continue to just take life one thing at a time. I want to be able to travel more. I want to be able to vlog these travels. Like, I'm excited. Like, I have so many different places that I want to go, so many different things I want to check off the list. So we're going to just see what we got to do. I hate the videos like it's grind time this year, new year, time to lock in, but truthfully they kind of got a point. But I don't think it's really like about locking in. I think it's about accountability. The same way that you'll hold somebody else to being accountable, you got to hold yourself accountable. And I definitely have not. I've been letting so much slip that I want to do. YouTube has been being slipped. Me getting back in the gym has so slipped. And don't live for the life that you have now, live for the life that you want. We're just gonna keep seeing what life throws at us, and we can keep growing and learning from it. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching this entire video. It's kind of just like a brain dump of my take on this year, kind of looking into next year. And guys, don't worry, we'll have a 2026 in review, and we'll see what comes of this next year. Guys, have a great holiday, and I'll see you after the first of the year.